Do you like fire, do you? Aye? Then you're in luck, because the silly bastards just up ahead love the stuff. Can't get enough of it. They call themselves the Forged, and when we were dealing with the Yangtze, we already had a brush with them, but here the place is in all its glory. Saugus Ironworks, located in the northeastern portion of the map, the part that, as we all know, is full of weird shit, and with this place being no exception. Bonfires dot the outside of the ironworks, with our first bones already present, just heaped onto the fire. It's pretty common here. To the right of this is quite a well-stocked kitchen area, where I assume the groups on patrol used as a storage area for whatever they were planning to shove into their gobs while on watch. Speaking of troops, there are a lot of them, inside and out, so be ready for a fight here. Now let's take a gander. So straight away on our right, we find cages with corpses. Some of them are in one piece, some of them are not. And it seems like these were the people who were captured for something? We will get to what later. Why they are completely stripped clean while inside the cages is interesting, and also comes into play as we find out more about this place. The way some of them are just lying in heaps near cages also suggests that they were put in after they died, to be displayed to whoever happened to be near, friend or foe. Towards one of the larger vats full of molten metal, we find another corpse. This one is also all bones. However, I think it's pre-war. Beside them is some money, which I doubt a victim of the Forged would have held on to in death, or one of the Forged themselves. Opposite this is a conveyor belt that seems to have seen some use, possibly to transport metal for melting down. On it are some bones, likely more of their victims, though it's surprising they would mix it in given their affinity to metal and how much they care for it. Just past this conveyor belt, we come to some confusingly booby-trapped toilets. I say confusing as... why would you trap your own toilet? Was it to keep everyone taking a shite on their toes, or to discourage other activities? One of them has drugs inside, so it couldn't have been used as a way to stop people doing drugs in them. It's pretty confusing. Coming out of the toilets, and down the stairs, we can drop down onto a ledge, and come to a wonderfully creepy teddy. So it's a chef teddy, ready to cook some fish and maybe add a bit of red wine as flavouring. Fair play. The usual ponderings of who did this, and why can be set aside. It was clearly a member of the Forged, as many of them are as mad as a bag of spiders. Also, I doubt it's meant to represent a child's corpse, as what child would be cooking fish with red wine? That would be weird. Now it's up to the next floor. The terminal opposite us can be used to open these doors, and act as a shortcut of sorts, if you like. The hallway to the left gives us an idea of just how many people used to work here, or at least how many desk jobs there were, which makes sense as the factory appears to have been mostly automated. There is a protectron in one corner which we can activate to help kill the Forged, and I would have expected it to be a fire brigade one, but apparently not. The ramp to the left is booby-trapped, so watch it. On the steel beams up here we can actually find what looks like leftover work from before the war. You could argue that it was the Forged after the war, but corpses we shall soon see show this is not the case. Speaking of things left on metal beams, an alien toy and some jet can be found over here, so it appears someone liked to play with their toys while high. Going through the space leading to the next part of the factory, we see many things. Drinks and drugs are aplenty, with barrels and boxes to sit on, so this appears to be an area to chill out. Several unimpressive trophies line the wall, and the whole thing is completed by what we find in the corner. Another corpse is here, once again pre-war in my opinion based on the clothes and the drinking water. Poor bastard. Then some mounted heads can be found in the corner, because the place would not be complete without them. We can find some more bones on this little platform right here. Kind of random, but okay. To the right we find the remains of another worker. They seem to have perched on the support beam and they were either working, drinking, or both. You may wonder if I've gone insane as there is clearly no corpse on that beam. I assume Nick knocked it off somehow, as I don't know how else it could have happened. I certainly didn't do it. It now lies on the walkway below, crumpled after centuries of sitting on its arse. Descending to the lower level, we come across one of the main living areas for the Forged, and a terminal with a lot of disturbing entries on it. Each entry is entitled with a weird name they were forced to make up for themselves when they joined the Forged, and each details the punishments they received. Some of them are just your basic killings, while others are more brutal. Entire families were killed, people were burned alive, Someone was fed molten iron, fuck me. The most impressive is Yancey, who chose death over changing his shit name. Takes some balls, that. What is really disturbing is that the infractions, that is what they did to deserve these punishments, were very varied. Some were punished for showing weakness while being treated, or fear in the face of the enemy. However, some of the crimes were ridiculous, the worst of which was showing mercy to the enemy. It serves as a good example of just how twisted and warped those of the Forged were. On the bottom floor of this section, if we go underneath the collapsed walkway, we come to 2 more corpses. They seem to also be former workers here, and it seems like they were on a lunch break of sorts. It appears they decided to play a board game while having their lunch, which I do find a bit odd, but whatever. This does however show us that these were indeed pre-war workers, and that the bombs killed everyone in this factory. Up the stairs in the room above these 2, we see nothing out of the ordinary, except this plunger, just watching us from the window, waiting for a moment of weakness. It's also interesting to note about the bodies of the heads we saw earlier, and we can see them right now, skewered right beside them, because even if your head is separated from your body, there's no need for your head to be separated from your body. Also, do not jump on this, it does not end well. Now we head upstairs and gain access to the main forge, where a certain confrontation takes place.
If he tries to leave, kill him. You must be pretty strong to make it here.
Who are you supposed to be?
I'm Slag, and we are the Forged. And you, stranger, you're somebody with some guts. I like that. See, Jake? Here's someone who might actually be worth my time. Unlike you.
They're gonna kill me.
But I brought everything you asked for.
Stealing things from your family farm doesn't prove your strength, boy. Though this wonderful sword you brought does put me in the mood to give you one last chance to prove your worth. What do you say? Kill that prisoner and prove that you aren't completely useless.
You said we'd be raiding outside the Commonwealth. These people aren't even a threat to us.
Prove to me that you can kill. It's him or you.
Oh God, what do I do? What do I do?
What about your family? Is this what Abraham would want you to do?
I
What's
thought
it
he
gonna
hated
be,
me.
Jake?
Did he send you here to find me? What happened between you two?
I don't know. I can't ever manage to live up to his expectations.
You don't need them. They make you weak.
Did he really send you here to find me?
You need to decide, Jake. What's it gonna be?
Dad was right. I don't want to join the Forge. I just want to go home.
Last
We're gonna
chance,
need bigger
Jake.
guns.
If you don't kill the prisoner before I count to 3, well, it's over. 1. Help! 2. 3.
So this was their main forge, where their weird trials take place, and it's full of bones and bodies, and a very large vat of molten metal. Down on the ground are many cages, most likely for more bodies, which down here there are plenty of. There are a lot of skeletons, skewered heads and pieces of gore, many of which I am sure are from their various victims, most likely what was left over from all those punishments. Some of them even match up, like the red skeleton possibly being from a flayed person. Some of the bodies also seem to be from workers, as they have clothes on and drink nearby. Also, the way this skull has the top of it broken off, it was definitely used in the trials we read about. Probably something to do with drinking the blood of your enemy or some shite out of it. Now, for the loot. Why yes, that is the Explosive Bobblehead, and yes it does look fantastic. And I am not going to take it, just so it annoys you. Then we take a cheeky gander at this terminal. They are all by Slag, and the first one is called Weak. He complains about the caliber of recruits he has, and is considering leaving the Commonwealth operations, suggesting he is from outside of the Commonwealth. The next is called Progress. It was achieved by killing some gunners, the ones next door to here in fact. Some of them also joined, and since they beat the gunners, more wished to join the Forged. Materials links this place to Dunwich Boars, which we covered long ago. It seems that Bedlam was sent over there to scare the other group, possibly forged or not, and get more scrap. We find Bedlam in Dunwich. The darkness was already taking hold of the place at that point. Jake refers to the lad we seen during that cutscene. The dumb shit stole his dad's sword and tried to bribe his way in. Didn't end well. After this, The amount of entries depends on the order in which you wipe out other raider camps, and I've only done Corvega by the time I got here. The last thing to look at is this poor chap, another dead worker, whose discarded beer can actually be found all the way down there. This was Saugus Ironworks, home of the Forged. The Forged were led by Slag, and it appears that they originated outside the Commonwealth, meaning that Slag may not be the only senior member. They had a slow going at first, but all that changed when they fought the Gunners. They converted a few of the Gunners. Most of the new recruits were from people who heard about what they did, and probably bore the Gunners a grudge. The Forged were obsessed with fire, slag and metal. They commanded a raider company in Dunwich Borders, and used them to get more materials to add to the forge. We can see several machines transporting scrap inside the ironworks. Why they did it? No clue. Probably just cause. Their initiation rituals must have been quite brutal, as we saw many punished harshly for not completing them. Jake had to kill someone for his, so that may have been a requirement. Any infractions were punished harshly, from stealing food to standing by your proud name like Yancey, a man we can all aspire to become like. I think the skull we find in the forge was part of it, possibly some drinking the blood of your enemies bullshit. The cages were probably used to display those who failed the trials, which they totally deserved because fire is cool. Their bodies were probably burned and then the bones were put in the cages on display. They, like Judge Zeller's group, are an excellent example of raider cults in the Commonwealth. I suppose they are similar to the Children of Adam as well, as both worship an object. It is unknown why they came into the Commonwealth, or if there are more of them out there. What I do know is that everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. The hottest place to be in the Commonwealth, and the not so cool cult that inhabits it. I hope you liked this look at all of it. If you did like it, give the video a like, and if you want regular updates, subscribe. Any suggestions for lower or future videos should be left in the comments below. Better yet, go onto my subreddit so we can discuss them in more detail. It's linked in the description. If you wish to, you can support me on Patreon. $1 or £1, I ask for no more. If there are any rewards you would like to see on my page that I don't have, message me with your suggestions. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook to get regular updates or have a wee chat. Any business you wish to discuss, email me at thenthapple.business@gmail.com and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.